Scene script. Imagine this. You close your eyes for a night's sleep, but instead wake up 1,000 years later. What would happen? In the realm of sleep and dreams, 1,000 years might pass like a fleeting moment. But in the real world, 1,000 years is a millennium, a span of time that has seen civilizations rise and fall, technologies evolve, and the face of the earth alter dramatically. Now, imagine humans in a state of suspended animation, a deep slumber extending for 1,000 years. Ponder over the profound implications of such a scenario. Would our bodies adapt or crumble under the weight of time? Would our minds endure the vast emptiness of unconsciousness? And what about the world around us? Would it remain the same or transform beyond recognition? These questions might seem straight out of a science fiction novel, yet they offer a fascinating perspective on the science of sleep and the passage of time. Intrigued? Let's unravel the mystery together. To understand the implications, we first need to delve into the science of sleep. Sleep, often viewed as a passive state, is actually a complex and dynamic process that is crucial to our overall health and well-being. It's divided into two broad types: rapid eye movement or REM sleep and non-rapid eye movement or non-REM sleep. Non-REM sleep is further divided into 3 stages. Stage 1 is a light sleep, a transition phase where we can be easily awakened. Stage 2 is a period of definitive sleep, where our heart rate slows down and body temperature drops. The 3rd stage is deep, restorative sleep, essential for growth and repair of tissues, energy restoration, and strengthening of the immune system. Then comes REM sleep, the stage associated with vivid dreams. This is when our brain gets really active, solidifying memories, boosting creativity, and helping in problem solving. But sleep isn't just about the brain. While we're off in dreamland, our body is busy too. Cells are repaired, hormones are balanced, and energy is replenished. Sleep is a symphony of biological processes, all working together to ensure our survival and optimal functioning. Imagine then 1,000 years of sleep. It's not just a long snooze, it's 1,000 years of missed REM and non-REM cycles, of lost tissue repair and memory consolidation, of halted growth and immune system activity. So, clearly sleep is not merely a shutdown mode for humans. Now, imagine these processes sustained over a millennium. What would the biological implications be? Let's delve into this fascinating thought experiment. Firstly, consider muscle atrophy. Our muscles, even when we're just lounging around, are constantly working. They're active when we breathe, blink, or even just sit upright. In a sleep state, we use fewer muscles. Over centuries-long slumber, the lack of use could lead to extreme muscle wasting. You'd wake up from your 1,000-year snooze with muscles so weak, you might not be able to stand up straight, let alone walk. Next, let's ponder the brain's fate. Your brain, like your muscles, is an use it or lose it organ. During a normal sleep cycle, our brain is still quite active, processing memories and rejuvenating neurons. However, in a centuries-long sleep, without new sensory input or experiences to process, the brain might start to degenerate. It's like a computer left on but unused for 1,000 years. It's uncertain how much cognitive function you'd retain upon waking. Moving on, let's think about our other organs. The heart, lungs, liver, kidneys. They all have their jobs to do even when we're asleep. But would they continue to function optimally during a millennium-long sleep? The heart, for instance, might weaken due to reduced physical activity. The lungs might suffer from lack of fresh air if we assume that our sleeper isn't moving around. The liver and kidneys, without regular intake of food and water, might slowly lose their ability to detoxify the body. Finally, there are potential genetic changes to consider. DNA is not a stagnant entity. It changes in response to our environment, habits, and even our thoughts. Over 1,000 years, given the drastically altered state of existence, it's conceivable that there could be substantial changes to our genetic code. Remember, this is all speculation based on what we currently understand about human biology. It's a fascinating thought experiment, but far from a definitive prognosis. But the implications are not just biological. Let's explore the psychological and societal implications next. Waking up after a millennium would have profound psychological and societal implications too. Imagine the psychological toll of missing 1,000 years of life. First, there's potential memory loss. The human mind isn't designed to process such a long period of inactivity, and it's uncertain what a millennium-long sleep would do to our cognitive functions. It's possible that some memories would fade or be lost entirely, leaving us with a mind full of gaps. Then consider the shock of waking up in a completely different world. Our last memories would be from a society 1,000 years in the past. The world we'd wake up to could seem alien. with advancements in technology and shifts in culture we can't even begin to imagine. This drastic change could lead to an intense feeling of disorientation and isolation, a condition some psychologists might compare to severe culture shock or even post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, let's shift gears and think about the societal implications. 1,000 years of technological advancements could mean a world that's unrecognizable to us. We'd be like infants, needing to learn how to interact with the world all over again. The tools we once used every day could be obsolete, replaced by technologies we could never have dreamed of. And it's not just about technology. Cultural norms, languages, even the way people communicate could have changed dramatically. We'd also have to grapple with the reality of being a living piece of history. Our knowledge and experiences would be 1,000 years out of date. We'd be relics of a bygone era, and that could make it difficult to find our place in this new society. Would we be viewed as curiosities, or would we be respected for our unique perspective? Would we be able to adapt, or would we be left behind? So, waking up after 1,000 years would be quite the culture shock. But the biggest question is, would humans even survive a 1,000-year sleep? From our current understanding of biology and physiology, the odds seem rather slim. The human body is a complex system that requires constant maintenance. Our hearts beat, our lungs breathe, and our brains churn out thoughts all in real time. These processes need energy, and that energy comes from the food we eat and the air we breathe. Without these, the body simply cannot function for an extended period. Now imagine trying to keep the human body in a state of suspended animation for 1,000 years. This is essentially what a 1,000-year sleep would require. It's a concept that's often tackled in science fiction, but in reality, it's a monumental challenge. To keep our bodies alive during this time, we would need some form of life support. This could mean machines that mimic the functions of our vital organs, like our hearts and lungs. But even with these machines, there are still many hurdles. For instance, our cells continually die and need to be replaced. How would we ensure this process continues for 1,000 years? Additionally, there's the question of brain activity. We know that during sleep, our brains are still active. They're busy processing the events of the day, consolidating memories, and restoring themselves for the next day. If we were to sleep for 1,000 years, what would this mean for our brains? Would we even retain our memories, our identities, after such a long period of inactivity? And let's not forget about the potential medical interventions that would be needed to keep us alive. These could range from nutrient infusions to prevent muscle wasting to measures to prevent the formation of blood clots. Each of these interventions presents its own set of challenges and potential complications. In conclusion, the idea of humans surviving a 1,000-year sleep is not only a question of biology and physiology, but also one of technology and medical science. It's an intriguing concept, but one that, with our current knowledge and capabilities, seems to be just beyond our reach. So, a 1,000-year sleep is not as simple as it sounds. So, while the concept of 1,000-year sleep is fascinating, it's clear that the reality would be far from a fairy tale. Throughout our exploration, we've journeyed through the hypothetical slumber, delved into the science of sleep, and pondered the biological, psychological, and societal implications of such a prolonged nap. We've seen that while sleep is a vital part of our daily lives, the balance is delicate. Disrupting our natural sleep patterns can lead to a host of health issues, both physical and mental. The human body and mind are not designed for 1,000 years of sleep. The biological implications alone are staggering. Our bodies would deteriorate without the regular activity they need to stay healthy. Psychologically, waking up after a millennium would be a shock of unimaginable proportions. Society as we know it would likely be unrecognizable, leading to further mental strain. The concept of survival of the fittest would take on a whole new meaning in such a scenario. It's not the strongest who would survive, but those most adaptable to the radical changes. In essence, while it's a fascinating thought experiment, it's safe to say that 1,000-year sleep is a dream best left in the realm of science fiction. Thank you for joining us on this imaginative journey. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Until next time, sweet dreams.